Okay, editing Kayla here. This is part one of my Gilmore Girls season 2 rants. So I hope you guys enjoy the video. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about season 2 of Gilmore Girls. Um, I'm not done with this season. I'm on episode 18. There are 22 episodes, but again, I've already seen the show, so I'm going to give my thoughts on season 2 anyways. So I'm just going to jump right into it because I have a lot of thoughts. So, episode 1, I really hate episode 1, like one of the worst episodes on the whole entire series. And this is the episode where we find out that Rory is in like the top 1% of her class at Chilton or something like that. And then her grandparents, Richard and Emily, they want to celebrate. So I think it's on a Friday night dinner or something, but they have a dinner and they tell her that she can invite a friend. And she invites her boyfriend Dean over. And as soon as Richard sees Dean, his mood drops. And it's so uncomfortable. And then he just goes into like this he starts to like like what's the word? But I can't think of the word, but he starts to ask Dean a bunch of questions about like college and his career and stuff. But I really thought this was like ridiculous and inappropriate because Dean is literally 16. Like, it's not that weird for a 16-year-old to not know what they want to do for the rest of their life. Like, not every 16-year-old is like Rory. And I thought that Richard was acting a little bit, not a little bit, a lot of it elitist and classist because he was talking about how he's always known what he wanted to do from the age of 10 and he's always known what college he was going to go to and all of that. But like the thing is, Richard comes from money and privilege, so he sees the kind of things that people can achieve and he has the money and the resources to afford him an Ivy League education and access to internships and high paying jobs. Now, Dean is just some small town boy who doesn't really know anything about that world. So, like, expecting him to be as ambitious or on top of things as Rory is a little bit insane because whether you like it or not, I know there's a lot of discourse surrounding this, but Rory is privileged. Like, she does live a privileged life. Maybe not when she was younger, maybe not before the age of 16, but from the age of 16 and up, Rory has lived a pretty privileged life. Like, she goes to private school, she goes to an Ivy League, like she had a coming out party, like she went to the debutante ball. Like, that's a rich people privilege type of activities. So, she knows what she's just like Richard. She knows the kind of things that people can achieve in this world. So she's ambitious. But again, Dean is just some small town boy. But at the same time, I don't even know if any of what I just said made sense. But what I will say is I still kind of understand where Richard was coming from because like in high school, Rory and Dean as a couple kind of make sense, but outside of high school they don't. So I think that he was thinking about the future. Like, he always thinks about the future. So he was thinking about how Dean is going to fit into Rory's life. Because Dean is very simple. Dean wants a simple life and he's not ambitious as Rory. So I feel like he was scared that Rory was going to hold him back. But it was this, still, the way that he was talking to Dean was rude. And there's always a nicer way to say things, or always a more respectful way to say things to people. But yeah, again, like I said, I understand where he was coming from because in this season, this is when Rory and Dean kind of drift apart because, I mean, in season 1, you can tell like these two don't have that strong of a connection, but you can really see it in season 2. Because in season 2, we meet Jess and you see that her and Jess have a stronger connection because they have more in common as opposed to her and Dean. So yeah, that's what I'll say. I don't want to talk too long about episode 1. So I want to talk about, what is this one? Oh, so I'm gonna talk about episode 2, and then I'll start talking about Emily and Max. Not Emily and Max, well, Lorelai and Max, and kind of their whole relationship. Now, before I say this, I don't want people to get mad, but I don't think Emily is the best mother, obviously. But I think Lorelai not telling her mother that she's getting engaged to Max and her mother reacting nonchalantly, it's kind of like a self-fulfilling prophecy. So like she took so long to tell Emily because she was scared of her reaction, but she took so long that Emily ultimately found out through Suki, and she was upset that she found out in that way. So in Emily fashion, she acted the way she did. Like her behavior was immature, excuse me. But I still think Lorelai should have told Emily as soon as she found out that she was engaged. Because if she told her as soon as she was engaged, I think her reaction obviously would have been completely different. Like Emily and Richard are poor communicators, but I think Lorelai is too at times, and sometimes that's what leads them to have, unnecessary arguments. And oh, this is like just a random thought I had while I was watching this whole thing go down, but I feel like Lorelai and her parents do too much dancing, so to say. Like it's always like they're always arguing, and Lorelai, but they still end up talking again. Like they'll go through periods where like they don't talk, or like they have like beef or whatever, but then they go back to talking again. And I don't know how to explain it, but the point is, I feel like they do too much dancing, and I feel like they should either work out their issues or go completely no contact, because like this back and forth thing is a little bit annoying at times. But then again, if they didn't do this dancing thing, this back and forth thing, then the show probably wouldn't be as interesting. But I'm just thinking about it too literal. Like I'm talking about it in like a real world kind of sense. In the real world, it's like, bro, either you try and resolve it, or if not, just go completely no contact. Another thing that happens in episode 2 is Rory realizes that she may not be as prepared as she thought for applying to Harvard, because she doesn't have enough extracurriculars. So like she's going to this charity event where she's like basically building a house, and Dean tells her to blow off the event, but obviously she doesn't, because like she's preparing for her future. So she goes to the event, and then she sees Paris there, and Paris talks about like all of the extracurriculars that she's done since she was like literally a child. And then Rory starts to freak out because she realizes that she's unprepared and that she hasn't done enough extracurriculars, as I said. So like she tells this to Dean, and he doesn't try to make her feel better. He wasn't interested in listening to her, or like he wasn't interested in her catching up with all the extracurriculars that she had. Like he wasn't, like he didn't really care. He just wanted her all to himself. And then basically he got mad because she was just thinking about her future. So I feel like in this episode, this is when you really start to see how controlling Dean is. I think he was in season 1, he had his issues, but in season 2, he's ridiculous. Like season 1, he was more so stalkerish because he would call her all the time. And mind you, I wanted to say that in my first video about Dean and Rory. I don't know why Lorelai was like hyping up that behavior. Like there's absolutely no reason why you should be calling your girlfriend like 5+ times a day. Like it's not like, oh, you're calling each other throughout the day, so if it adds up to 5, whatever. It's like, no, it's like consistently calling her multiple times a day, waiting for her to pick up. Like that's weird. Like, do you not have anything else to do? Anyways. And now I want to talk about Max and Lorelai. So first things first, I want to open this segment, so to say, of the video with a question, because I'm not even going through, I don't want to go episode by episode, but I just want to talk about the relationship as a whole. But did anyone else feel like Luke made Lorelai second guess marrying Max? Because when she told Luke that she was engaged to Max, he was like saying a bunch of negative things surrounding marriage. So it's like, I didn't think they were gonna get married, period, but like, did he help? Like, did he fuel that, so to say? And that's my question, because I feel like he did. But what do you guys think? Anyways, so oh wait, no, Max and Lorelai were together in season 1 too. Yeah. And then they broke up and then they got back together in season 2. Yes, that's what happened. Now, I don't think that they should have ever gotten back together because Lorelai was too like when the relationship started to get serious, Lorelai started to back out and she started to get scared. And like I said, I don't think they should have ever gotten back together because Lorelai is way too comfortable with her life already. With Max entering it, she'd have to change it around, and she's not willing to do that. Because remember, like, there was this one episode where it was Max and Lorelai, Rory and Dean, they had like a double date. And Rory and Dean were outside alone on the porch or something. And then he was asking Lorelai, oh, what do I do in situations like this? Basically, he was asking, how do I parent Rory? Or how do I, like, is there a way that I have to discipline her? Whatever, whatever. And Lorelai was like, not taking the conversation seriously. And yeah, basically, I feel like that, in that scene, that just showed like she's not willing to change her life around to fit Max into it. Like she's too comfortable with the way it is already. Because it's like when you're marrying someone and you already have a child, whether you like it or not, sometimes that step parent is going to have to parent your child. And you can't just like you know what I don't know how to explain it, and I'm not sure I should even explain it because it's like I've never been married and I don't have kids, but I feel like that's common sense. Like when you're a step parent, you are signing up to be a parent. It's not just about the couple, it's about the couple and the child, because now you guys are a family. A marriage is not just two people, especially if you're entering a marriage where there's a child there already, you know what I mean? But yeah, as soon as Lorelai realized that Luke was interested in her, I feel like that's when they should have gotten together, because Luke fitting into Lorelai's life wouldn't take that much effort, because he already plays a really big role in her and Rory's life, because he literally feeds them and like fixes their house if there are any issues and you know all that kind of stuff. So he already fits into their life. So like I feel like that's when they should have gotten together. But you know, they have to do the whole will they won't they thing, whatever. Just get together already. Like what the heck? Also, I feel like Lorelai isn't very emotionally mature. She can be, but sometimes she isn't. I feel like Max was too mature and structured for someone like Lorelai. And like I said, like why did she get mad that he was asking her how to parent Rory? Rory is 16 at this point, and Lorelai says, oh, she's already done. She doesn't need to be parented. But that's not true. At 16, you still need guidance. And if he's going to be in their life, he'll sometimes have to parent Rory. And that's the point he was trying to make. I think if Lorelai met Max in another time in her life, maybe they would have worked. But I feel like Max was a case of right person, wrong time. Maybe. Hey guys, this is Editing Kayla again. This is gonna be the end of the video, and I'm gonna make a part 2 and post it later at a later date. So make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Follow me on social media if you want. Be happy, be healthy, be safe. And yeah, goodbye.